All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Blind View right here on Rumble. Wow, today is June 1st, so it is
That
summer
is
is here.
July 1st. It's July 1st.
Oh, I'm sorry, July 1st. And here's your host, Miss Rebecca Meadows.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How is everybody today? Thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of The Blind View. I just wanted to ask Anya something because we were talking before we went live. Anya, are you and your hubby going to the national convention then? Or are you still?
No, we're I registered for virtual experiences like
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, but this year they moved things around and they don't have general session in the afternoon and the last day, and the banquet starts half an hour earlier. So again, it's not that crucial, but if we could work around it, and we
Yeah.
would.
We'll definitely work around it. I had no idea that the convention was even getting going on then. So thanks for sharing that with all of us. So I'll go ahead and share some news with our audience this is kind of my topic. I wanted everybody to know that yours truly is off of the market.
Oh,
On Sunday, Tim and I drove to Las Vegas and got married.
Congratulations.
By an Elvis impersonator.
I thought it was gonna be soon, but this soon?
Oh,
Congratulations.
Thank you. We got married by an Elvis impersonator. It was awesome.
An Elvis impersonator. When you was done, did you say thank you very much?
Yep. Well,
Okay, good.
So we have a video of it, and we haven't received it from the chapel yet. But when we do, I think I'm going to let Gino look through it for maybe some clips we can share during next week's show.
Well, that'll be sweet. Well, congratulations to you both. For real, that's great.
Congrats. Awesome.
For sure.
So you're no longer Rebecca S. Meadows, or you kept your name?
So here's the thing. I still am Rebecca S. Meadows because my first name is still Rebecca. My middle initial is still S, and Meadows is still my, what did Gino call it? It's a pseudonym. So I'm still Rebecca S. Meadows, but my legal change that I go by, which is not Meadows. For security purposes, I have a pseudonym. Like my legal name will be changing. So that means I'm going to have to get my ID updated and all of that.
Now, I beg your pardon. When did y'all meet again? Was it
Last December we met.
December of 2025, right?
Yeah, 2025.
Okay. Well, congratulations. That's great news. That is so exciting for both of y'all. And I'm super happy for you both.
But just to clarify, so Meadows is not your real name then?
No, Meadows is not my real name. It's a pseudonym.
When I tell somebody about Rebecca Meadows and people don't know, like, I didn't know it was your pseudonym. I thought it was a real name.
No, that's my pseudonym.
Well, it's understandable, though, because Becca's been a bit of a renegade in the past, which is just fine with me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's sweet. Are you guys planning any kind of a reception, celebration?
Okay, so we were originally planning on doing our wedding on December 19th. And then I realized that's really close to Christmas. So I was telling him, well, we should wait till in January and do the reception. But since we went and got married right now, I think we will do the reception in January. You know what I mean? Instead of the wedding.
Oh, okay. Got it. Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
Or we could do it anytime before that too now, right? Because we just didn't want to get married so close to Christmas. And now that we are married, we can actually do the reception anytime between now and then. It's just, I need to decide if we want to do it here in Payson or if we want to do it in Mesa. You know what I mean? It kind of depends on what would be most convenient for people, probably.
Yeah, sure. I'll be looking out for an invite.
I was going to say.
Would you guys come if you guys get invites? I would definitely invite you guys, sure.
Well, I actually was joking, but it's never off the table. I mean, depends.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool if we had to get together to celebrate?
we could do a podcast. We could do a live podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
live stream of the reception.
Yeah. So anyway, it was pretty cool. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah, and I assume Tim is doing a lot better now. Because
Yeah,
last
he, oh yeah, he is. And speaking of his leg, like we laid down for a nap this afternoon. And usually what we do, like we go to bed at night, and if there's enough of me left when we go to bed, I use this massager. It's an I plug it in as a back massager, but I use it on his leg because I just use it on his leg, starting down at the calf or at the ankle, and I go up his calf, and then I do like the back of his knee, and then I do. You have the muscles along the edges of your leg from your knee up to your hip. That muscle on him is really taut because of what's been going on with his knee. Like those muscles in there are very taut and tight. And so if I do this on a regular basis for him, it helps those muscles be loose, and then his knee's not popping out all the time. He told me yesterday that it's actually been several days since his knee has popped out. The only thing that he's struggling with now is while he walks on it, it aches really bad in the joint. So, I mean, it's not popping out anymore, so the muscles aren't aching anymore and going into spasm, but he's still got something going on in the joint. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't know if it's some arthritis, which I suspect it probably is, because he's been walking on that knee like that since June of 25 when he was assaulted. And it's been popping out. It used to pop out dozens of times a day. That's how bad it was when I first met him. Well,
it seems like he's on the mend. Does he have the ability to take baths? Because I know if you take a hot bath, it can really loosen up the muscles and kind of clear. If there's any inflammation, it can really help with that as well. So just an idea if he's able to do that.
Yeah, so we do have a bathtub in the house, but we need to go buy a plug for the
drain.
For the drain, so it'll hold water.
Yeah.
But I'll keep that in mind, and I'll suggest that to him, Paul. Thank you for
No, it
suggesting.
does help, because I know when I've had like cramps in my legs, or when my back hurts real bad for whatever reason, I'll go take a bath. And it's not the end all cure all, if you will, but it does help for the moment, and it does kind of, like I said, loosen things up a little bit. And so I enjoy them when I need them. I don't really take a lot of them though. Not that this podcast needs to know that, but.
But do you have deep one? Like how deep is your bathtub?
I mean, it can cover me. It's a regular size bathtub. It can cover me, and I do get it pretty
How tall are
warm.
you?
I don't know, maybe 5'5"
Okay.
So it's only up to
on
your
a good
knee.
day.
You're really short. Ew. I just got rid of one of those last year.
You just got rid of a 5'5" person?
That's what I was wondering. I'm very confused.
Yes, you do.
No.
Your eyes kind of concerned.
Bathtub, because it's any old one. My house was built in 1970 something 6, and the bathtub was always there, so it's super old and heavy, like cast iron or whatever. And it was just a joke, not a bathtub. So it was so shallow, and sounds like what you, Paul, are describing. So eventually we replaced it with a mini jacuzzi, which is a lot deeper. And it's
Ooh, that's nice.
wonderful.
Whoa!
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Becca. Have you ever heard of like grounding sheets or a grounding mat?
I think I've heard of it, but I'm not sure what that is. Can you?
They say that can help too.
So, what is a grounding mat, or what else did you say it's called?
Just grounding sheets. Like they make sheets that you can, sleep on that are grounding sheets, or they have, grounding mats.
And that helps a person with body aches, or
Yeah, it is supposed to. It's supposed to help people sleep better, and like with inflammation. And I want to get some. I don't have any right now, but I think I'm gonna get some in the near future.
What does it mean, grounding? Like, what does it do?
Well, so I mean, it like if you live in an area different than like where I live, you don't even need it because if you live in an area where you can just go out, actually, and like you might now back up, where if you can just go outdoors barefoot, and just walk on the
Yeah.
ground or just
Oh, so you
go
are
and
talking about that kind of grounding. I was wondering.
yeah. But if you can't do that, like our backyard is just a lot of sand, and so they make things that you can plug in inside that are supposed to do the same kind of benefits.
Yeah,
So you walk on it? I see.
I might have to talk to Tim about those because, this afternoon when we were sleeping or when we were laying down together, he fell deep asleep while I was working on his leg with that massager, right? And like I was telling you guys, I do this most days, right? Most of the time when we go to bed at night, I do it. When we wake up early in the morning, I work on his leg before we get out of bed. If we lay down for a nap during the day, I do it. And so I did it again today. And while I was doing it, like shortly after I started doing it, he fell dead asleep, just exhausted, right? And this always happens. And it occurred to me today when I was doing it that maybe it's his knee that's causing him to have trouble sleeping. Maybe it's so tight. You know what I mean? Because I think I told you guys last week that he's been having a lot of trouble sleeping.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know the body is a finely tuned bioorganism, and right, like I remember somebody was pitching a baseball and the batter didn't hit me in the knee, and oh man, yeah, that taught me real quick how important your knees are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had that happen with a beep baseball one time where someone pitched the ball and the ball went flying through the air and hit someone on the knee and bounced off their knee and flew up high and hit me in the face. That was great.
Oh,
I went to go diving for it and it smacked me in the face.
yeah.
Paul, can you describe for our viewers what beat ball is for those of them who haven't seen or played it before?
Sure. Well, beep baseball is a really fun game, and what you have is a beeping ball, and you have beeping bases. So it's very, very similar to actual baseball. There's a few things that are different. So all the players, with the exception of the pitcher, are blindfolded or completely blind, and the pitcher, rather than being opposed or against the hitter, is actually on the hitter's team. And so the person who's pitching will pitch the ball, and then once you hit the ball, providing that you do, of course, uh, you will run to a base that will beep. You have first and third base. And when you're running to the beeping base, you'll have people on the outfield. I think there's usually six, and they will go and get the ball. And if they're able to raise the ball above their head before the person running gets to the base, it is considered an out. And if the person gets to the base before they can get to the ball in the outfield, it is considered a home run. So beat baseball is a lot of fun, really gets a lot of exercise, and it's really, really frustrating when you hit the ball and people are searching for the ball in the outfield and someone forgets to press the buttons for the base because you have nowhere to run. Not that that's ever happened to me. I'm just, talking. But it can be a lot of a fun game.
So, Paul, I'm going to ask a question so you can discuss this because this might not have occurred to our viewers. So, why do the bases beep?
The bases have to beep so you can tell where you need to run.
Okay, cool.
Remember, everyone is blindfolded with the exception of the pitcher. So, even if you have a little bit of vision, you can't use it. So, at least that's how I was always taught to play. So, they do have beat baseball across the country. There is a team in Texas who is, generally speaking, a very, very good team. And I've never been on a traveling baseball team before, but they do exist. They do have a World Series, just like the real baseball does. It obviously doesn't get the crowd, unfortunately, like the World Series does. But I did see some clips of it on YouTube a few years ago, and it was amazing because it was a clip from, I think, 1991, and the World Series. It was in a field, and there was vendors, and there was all kinds of people watching, and it was great. And then I seen one from like, I don't know, 2013, 2014, and it was a quiet field with hardly anybody in it. So when people say that they want to get kids and adults, for that matter, back active again, I can't agree with that more, because we should all get active again, myself included. So if we could find a league around here, maybe, or if I ever should move, maybe I should look into that, cause it's a lot of fun.
So, Paul, what if a person would like to play beatball or knows someone who might like to play beatball? How would a person find out where there's a local beatball team they could?
That is a very good question. I would probably, if you know of any blind people in your area or blindness organizations in your area, I would try to get in touch with them, because I really don't know how to get in touch with the national leagues, or even just the regional leagues, or teams. I guess you should call them, not leagues.
Is there a website?
Not that I know of. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Now another sport that a lot of blind people play is called goal ball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that one. I wonder if they still have competitions, like
I tried goal ball.
Goal ball, for those who may not know, I believe you have 3 on a team, and you have a big ball that looks like a basketball, and the ball has bells in it. And so the idea of the game is, so you will take the ball and you'll kind of roll it like a bowling ball across the court, and the individuals on the other side will have to dive and get the ball, because they'll have to dive and make sure that they don't allow the ball to pass their goal lines. All the lines on goal ball are taped, so they are all tactile. It's usually played in the gym, and obviously, since you're having to listen to a ball with bells, fans have to be very, very quiet. Because if you are a very good thrower of the ball, you can really make that ball very, very silent and very, very fast. I've been hit by very silent and very, very fast balls. So go ball is a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, and then from what I remember, you were supposed. I don't remember what you call those things, but you put like protection for your knees and for your elbows, because
Yeah.
you throw yourself on the ground, and you can really injure your elbows and knees. So that's why you have some padded thing that makes the landing softer.
And it is once again a sport where everyone does have to be blindfolded as well. But Brandon, I believe you had something you wanted to say about that. I believe.
Oh, just I actually know somebody that competes in it at a very, very high level. I mean, I'm talking like national level, maybe even international, like very, very high level.
Are they a
So,
Paralympian competing?
I don't know. That's a good question. I can't remember. Although I do know another person that is a Paralympian judo competitor.
Very cool. I actually had someone call me one time, a friend of mine, and goes, "Hey, Paul, would you be interested in playing goalball for the Paralympics? I think you could do it." And I, at the time, declined, because I kind of looked at it like, well, I have a job and I have steady income, and I don't know how steady that income would be if I chose to do it. But yeah, I declined it. I do kind of wonder what would have happened if I didn't. But at the time,
It's
did what I thought
not
was
something you do for money. You can get sponsorships, but I mean, and again, I can say that knowing somebody who plays it at a very, very high level, nah, you don't make money. It's fun, and you can get sponsorships, but nah, you don't make money.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you have to know rules very well, because if you're learning and you don't because you have 3 team players, right? And then if you screw up the rules, like instructions, and then you hear the ball going your way, and then 2 people jump at the same ball, you can really butt heads, and it could be really painful. Let me tell you, if 2 people jump at the same ball.
Yeah, but think about like real like not that it's the same, but think about all sports. So baseball, man, you can really have some serious impacts. Basketball, you can have some serious impacts. So
Yeah,
that's okay. You got to know what you're signing up for.
exactly. Yeah. Well, sounds like we're having a commercial right now. So
Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, it's me, your favorite author, Rebecca S. Meadows, here with another message. You know, you can go up to Amazon and search Rebecca Meadows author to get your hands on each of my books. And each book is available in Kindle, digital download, Amazon print on demand, or on Audible. So enjoy, and please send me an email at beccameadows76@gmail.com and let me know what you thought of my book, okay? Oh, and please go up and write a review for me too. Thank you. Peace out.
I want to point, are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
all
I
right.
want to point out to our viewers, you can also email us at that email address if you want to talk about the show, if you have any comments on the show, if you want to suggest topics, anything like that, okay? So feel free. Again, the email address is beccameadows76@gmail.com.
Yeah, and speaking of the topics, who wants to go next? I know Paul didn't get to go last time at all. But your topic is very cheerful, so I don't
Well,
know.
I thought that if you wouldn't mind, because for the viewers, we do kind of have a list of things we'd like to discuss. I figured, Anya, I think you ought to go first, and then I can cheer everybody up, depending on how your topic goes, with what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, kind of logical, and yeah, I agree.
Right. Exactly. So go
Yeah.
ahead, if you don't mind.
Well, as you guys saw, and for the viewers, so my topic is going to be a looming threat of communism that is creeping into our communities. That's what I call. Yeah, exactly. How fun. And you know, people are talking about the threat of communism for a long time. Like as long as I've lived here, somebody's always saying, "Oh, communism is bad. Oh, we're turning." But I think right now we are getting to the point when it's getting really, really serious. I mean, maybe not everybody has felt it yet, but the New Yorkers are starting to feel that already. I mean, and you guys, I don't know how much you know about the recent election in New York when they chose pretty much everybody, when they elected everybody who is Islamist and
Socialist.
Yeah, with people who openly saying on their platform that they want to destroy the Western civilization, and they think that Americans are fascists, and you know, like lots of things that say saying that property has to be seized from the landlords and stuff like that. They're not even hiding what they're thinking. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Like, do you perceive it as a threat?
Anya,
Spreading?
thank you for bringing this topic up because I think this is very important. And I do feel like it's a threat. All of these major things that have been going on in our country the last few years, especially the last, well, since January.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree. I and I think that ties into, although it's not the same as what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. refers to as corporate capture.
Yeah. Oh, Paul, you want to say something too?
No, I heard about. I have heard. I thought that was someone on the podcast talking.
So listen, guys, you know what I've been thinking? Listen, you know how people always underestimate us blind folks? And they always figure us blind folks aren't capable of anything. But most of us on the panel here understand what's going on with socialism and communism creeping into our country. Because I'm like Anya, I've heard my whole life about all of this. And because it's something we learn about growing up here in the United States. And Anya obviously has been here long enough where she's heard it, you know what I mean?
Right.
From the beginning of time from July 4th, 1776, when our country was founded, there's always been a communist socialist lurking in the background plotting against our country, you know what I mean?
I think the biggest, or one of the biggest things, and I don't want to get too political about it, and people will probably not agree with me, and I'll be interested to see if we have any comments next week about what I'm about to say. Won't be here for y'all to yell at me for. So, but I think the biggest thing, or one of the big things, is just the education system that we're being taught under today. And from someone, I graduated over a decade ago now, That sounds very strange to say that, but I graduated over a decade ago now. Some of y'all might have been 2 decades, so I don't feel so bad. But I know back then, even then, the the uh, the aspect of socialism or the teaching of socialism was very, very prevalent, much more so than capitalism. And it was a very left-leaning way, a curriculum, if you will. And I have no problem with people learning about that at all. I have no problem with people learning about different opinions and learning about things of that nature. But I guess where my problem does lie, and others I've talked to kind of feel the same way, is okay. Well, it's great to teach that. It's great to learn about that, but you also have to teach maybe the more conservative side of things. And I think the education system today could afford to work on that, but that's not something that I think a lot of people will really have an interest in.
Well, it's not about
Well,
interest. It's always been
well,
about.
and I think they don't because it's advertised as, oh, we're going to lower your rent, or your rent's going to be free, and your groceries are going to be free, but guys, every nation that has tried socialism has ended up in appalling conditions.
Yeah,
Well,
communism
well,
kills. That is definitely true. And I don't know if you guys knew. Well, okay. So when we talk about the 20th century, like mostly like American kids would know about Hitler, about the Nazis, blah blah blah, but they hardly talk about the fall of the Russian Empire and how the Bolsheviks were taking over. And there's so many similarities.
excuse me.
What's happening right now, but they don't want to draw people's attention to that. They don't want people to think about it
What about
because
Romania? Romania was under it too.
oh, that too. Yeah, exactly. So they don't want you to talk about this. They don't want you to think about it. Yeah. So and then just so you know, there was under 30% of people who actually voted for the Bolsheviks. And with that little support, they still were able to take over the country very quickly and kill their enemies. And then trust me, they will not stop. Like if they get over everything here, I mean, they will go after enemies. Like Charlie Kirk and other people, like that's the guy CEO from United Healthcare. Maybe it sounds too dark and too I don't know, too over the top. But I mean, looking at history, pretty recent history, I must say, like 100 years ago, and you see a lot of similarities.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, no, and I'll
not even
point out
100
Anya.
years ago, 40 years ago. I mean, with Romania, I mean, my parents, when they went to go adopt my older brothers from there, I mean, they would hear stories of people who lived there who'd have to wait in line at, say, 1 or 2 in the morning to get, say, fresh meat. And you could wait in line from 1 or 2 in the morning for hours and come home empty-handed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a real thing that really happened, and you
Well,
had
and even recently, I've heard of people, and by that I mean 2018, 2019, 2020. There have been people that have been basically, agents of the Chinese government try to honeypot them, and they tried to implicate them and then blackmail them. Yeah, no, it is happening, guys. No, the Chinese Communist Party is adversarial and antithetical to the American way of life.
Oh yeah.
I actually met someone who I believe was maybe didn't identify as that, but I was taking a Lyft ride home, and it was a long Lyft ride at that, and he was not really for America. I'm not really sure what brought him here, but he talked a lot about how he wanted to go back to China and how America, all you do is work, 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 and
Oh.
you don't get a lot of money for it, and I was very interested in what he had to say. I certainly had my opinions about it. It did not also help that prior in the evening, I'd been in touch with or been in contact with someone whose political beliefs I didn't believe as well. So I got to get a heavy dose of that particular evening. But yeah, you do meet those kinds of people. And I mean, to your question, or I don't know if it's really your question, Anya, if it's something that has to be concerned about, or should we be concerned about? I think the answer is absolutely yes, because it will start very, very slow. It'll start slow, and then it'll just emulate itself, or not emulate, but it'll just saturate itself into society to where, say, I have kids, or say, you have kids, communism, socialism, uh, those things will just be embedded into society. They won't think of anything differently. And I think that possibility is a very real possibility.
Well, and it's not just that, but guys, I used to work alongside the U.S. Air Force, and China, Iran, and Russia, in that order at the time, were the most hostile adversaries to the USA in terms of cyber defense. They were trying to penetrate our cyber defenses. So, like Anya said, they will not stop. Their goal is to take over and to co-opt the American way of life, and they're actively doing it.
But I
Well, I
believe
don't think Russia is doing that though, because Russia has already has recovered to some extent before the war happened and all that. They gave up this idea for 80 years of hunger, death, and destruction. Well, some progress there were too, of course. There was, but people were too tired of this, and eventually the Union fell. So
well, we as Americans are sometimes really dumb, and we're very arrogant because we think, oh, well, just because it happened in other countries, it's not going to happen here. We have better infrastructure, we have better plans, we have better ways to make it different. Well, okay, well, if that's what you think, then gosh, I don't know what to tell you.
Does everybody on this panel vote?
yeah,
I do, yeah.
absolutely do.
Very important.
I think it's very important, but I know people these days who choose not to because they don't believe that it makes much of a difference, and that's their opinion as well.
well, guys, check this out. In New York, didn't they get enough of Mandani already? So when this primary goes on, do you know how many people showed up to vote? Does anybody know? Take a guess.
I don't know.
Take a guess.
How many?
16 million.
The percentage-wise, I mean percentage.
Oh,
Oh,
47.62.
I'm gonna say 65%.
Ron, Becca, your turn.
5%.
Well, Becca was the closest because it was right under 15. 15% of people who came to cast their vote. This is crazy. Like, they don't give a damn.
What she means is 15% of the people who showed up, right?
Who actually bothered to come and exercise their right to vote, and 33%, I believe, went to this crazy lunatic. What's her name? Oh gosh, I'm not good at names. The one that won the primaries, the socialist, the Islam, the one who says that she wants to destroy the Western civilization. I forgot.
Yeah,
her.
so you know what, guys? We need, as Americans, we need to make sure that there are good conservative candidates running so that people have somebody good to vote for, and they're not forced to vote for the socialist or the Marxist on the ballot or something like that. You know what I mean?
No, I absolutely think people should vote because last time in 2024, we made it too big to rig.
Yeah.
Okay? We did that.
Yes, we did. You're absolutely right, Brandon.
Yeah, and then everybody
Just
was
like
watching.
President Trump said, too big to rig.
Well, yeah, and then after the 2020, everybody knows it was stolen. So people will watch and watching very closely.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there still was some cheating, but not enough to.
Yeah, but
Oh,
President
yeah.
Trump did indeed get the highest number of black voters, the highest number of Latino voters, the highest number of female voters. That means people showed up and voted. So yes, it can make a difference.
I wonder what the percentage of the blind vote was that he got. You know,
Don't even
I-
ask that question.
But
You know what? Cause it
I know
Right.
there's the voting population among the blind is probably so low that it's irrelevant right now. But listen, if blind Americans would start showing up at the polls every time there's an election with our canes and our guide dogs, they would start to notice, hey, the blind community is taking a bigger interest in politics. We're
but
gonna
I
have to.
I
know.
think most
Hey,
blind
Becca,
people.
can I jump in for 1 second?
Shh.
Do you
Um,
remember what happened to you where they wouldn't let me or Amber help you vote and you had to trust somebody who you didn't know that they were
Oh,
voting
yeah.
for you properly? You should tell
Yeah.
that story.
Well,
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Let's let Paul finish first.
No, I want to hear what you have to say about that because that's a lot more interesting than my point. All I was going to point out is I think most blind people, if they do in fact vote, I'm going to imagine vote in a
Democrat.
way that might be one that some on the panel might have an issue with.
So let me tell you guys what happened. So first of all, I used to vote, like my ex-husband would help me vote, or I'd get the ballot in the mail and I'd stick it under my CCTV, and oh, that was terrible trying to do that, right? But then when I moved to Arizona and I became a member of the National Federation, well, I became a member of the NFB back in Montana, but I didn't get seriously involved till I moved here, right? And I heard them talking about the accessible voting machines, right? And I had never used one or heard of such a thing, right? So since I moved here in 2015 and I heard about those, every time I've gone to vote now, I wanted to use one of those accessible voting machines. And what Gino's referring to is when I went to the polls to use the machine and the machine hadn't been plugged in and hadn't been played with to make sure it worked properly or anything. So I showed up and they did all this stuff to try to make the machine work and they couldn't get it to work. And Gino and Amber, of course, are like, oh, well, we can help her vote. And they're like, no, because it had to be a third party and it had to be, they had a representative from the Republican Party and a representative from the Democrat Party watching over as the individual marked my ballot the way I requested. You know what I mean?
Oh, weird. Because my husband always vote. Like, I mean, I give him the permission to.
Yeah, that's odd. I've never seen that because when I first
have you guys, I'm telling you guys, when I finally did get to use I've gotten to use an accessible voting booth at the ballots one time, and it was amazing. I was able to completely mark my ballot all on my own, and it felt so good. I really, really like those accessible machines.
I have some reservations on that, though. And this is a topic we don't have to go in depth on that one because it can be its own discussion. But I have an issue with those machines because they're so easy to manipulate. I mean, we know what happened in that election 2020. Dominion machines were rigged. You know, when you vote for Trump, the vote automatically switches to Biden. I mean,
I do hate it. Because I've used an accessible machine as well, and the accessibility aspect was nice, but yeah, if the machines can be compromised, though,
believe it or not, I'm actually with y'all because it's like, gosh, if it happened to millions of other people, if it can happen to millions of other people, allegedly happen to millions of other people, I'm going to say that, boy, if I can't see, we say that wouldn't even, I would be even easier it would be even easier for one to allow that to happen to me, if you will, because I wouldn't even see anything coming, if you will. So, yeah, I do understand that. I personally, every time that there's been an election here, I do use them because I've been to polling places that did not have them, which is another thing. So I do use them every time I have that opportunity because, there could come a time, and there was a time where blind people could not do that independently. And if nobody uses them, we could go back to that time, and we don't want that. So
it did seem like it took me longer to vote with my accessible voting booth because it's reading to you, and I wanted to make sure and read all of the choices for each question, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And so I would scroll down and make sure I read each of the options for me, and then I had to scroll back up and mark the one that I wanted, and then when you're all done, you also want to go back up and just make sure everything's marked, right? So it took me quite a bit longer than when I would have my ex-husband help me do it or something like that. But I really enjoyed it a lot more. When I used to fill my ballots out at home, when I was on the absentee list up in Montana, and I'd fill them out at my CCTV. It took me so long filling them out that it would just give me headaches and neck pain and stuff and eye strain from voting that way. So my favorite way of voting is the accessible booth.
No, it certainly is, and I do subscribe to the thought of, or the idea that voting is a private thing. And even if I have friends that I may agree with, I don't ask them who they voted for, because my parents taught me it's none of my business. It's none of their business who I voted for. It's none of my business who I voted for. So I don't ask people those kinds of questions. And so, to the earlier point where people have had others help, when I first turned 18 and first voted for the first time, I had one of my parents help me vote. And, I trust my parents to put down the answer that I wanted. But in that event, my parents and I did not agree on who we wanted to be governor of Alaska. And, I told my dad, this is why I think what I think. And my dad told me why he thought. And, he helped me vote. And I trust he put the right answer down. But, I mean, what if you're with someone who, say you're a Trump supporter, and you're with someone and they don't maybe have the accessible voting and they hate Trump? Do you trust them that they're going to put your answer down as Trump? I mean, I don't know if I would.
Yeah, but I mean, you're running the same risk voting on that machine too. That's kind of a philosophical thing, because it's hard to come up with the right answer with a blind vote. In general, it should be just, okay, vote one day voting, period.
Oh,
Unless
yeah.
it's a serious reason, like you're military or something, but not because of COVID.
So, you know what, guys? They keep using the left keeps using all kinds of excuses to try to expand the voting from one day. And listen, we're all blind, right? But we manage to make it to the polls on the one day to go in and use, you know what I mean? To go in and vote.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Becca, and not just you, but everybody here on the panel. I really am genuinely interested. We have this act right now that President Trump is working really hard to get passed, called the Save America Act, right? Now that requires that you show identity to vote.
That's what I already did.
Do any of you here think that it is very, very difficult, like prohibitively difficult, for you to get identification?
Since we don't have driver's licenses?
Oh,
I mean, the argument against implementing that act is no, because it's really hard for some people to get that kind of identifying documentation. I don't think that it's hard. I'm willing to do it. What do you guys think?
No, this is just a cheat. That
excuse is just a lame excuse that the left came up with. I'm telling you, when I turned 18, I went and got my first photo ID because I wasn't able to get a driver's license when I was 15, 16 years old, like all my peers did, right? But once I became an adult at the age of 18, I needed an ID. So I went to the DMV and they gave me an ID. They take your picture and they'll give you like a state ID. Like I had a Montana state ID when I lived there. I had a Minnesota state ID when I lived there. And now I have an Arizona state ID.
I think.
But was it prohibitively hard for you to get it though?
No, it's not. No, I just take originally I took my birth certificate and my social security card and a piece of mail in to prove to them my identity and what my street address was, right? And then they gave me a picture ID with all that information on it. And ever since then, when I've had to go in and renew, or like when I moved to a different state, so I need a new ID, I just show them my old ID, which has my picture on it, which identifies me as who I am, right? And it has all my information on it. So they know who I am. So they take the information off that and they take a new picture of me and give me a new ID, What
about the rest of the panel? Do you guys think it would be prohibitively hard for you to show identifying documentation to vote?
Well, absolutely not. I thought you were kind of sarcastically asking, because I think it's such a ridiculous assumption even. I mean,
Here in California, you don't have to have ID, which shocked me.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
How? Like, what respectful country would do that? That is nonsense.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, are you enjoying the show? Are you enjoying the books? Are you enjoying everything we're doing here at Blue Butterfly Enterprises? If so, go up to bluebutterflyenterprises.com and check out our store and buy some of our memorabilia. Wouldn't it be cool to have a Becca's World hat or t-shirt or coffee mug or bumper sticker for your car? I'm going to get one for my car when I get a car that I can drive.
Yeah, it was a surprise to me because I remember going to vote, I don't know when it was, a year or two ago. And yeah, they just said, do you live here? And I go, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, go in there, you can go vote. And I said, well, don't you want to see ID or anything? They're like, no, we know who you are. We know where you live. You're fine. I was like,
Are you
What do you
kidding?
mean how they know who you
okay.
are? What if you say you're Brett Pitt or something? I mean, like, how do they know who you are?
Now, Paul, you live in California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just give them your name and you have designated polling places to go to if you live in X area. And so somehow they had all of my information, I guess, that where I lived, and I gave them my name, and so they're like, "No, you're
Yeah.
good." And I was like,
California's always bass
okay.
Yeah, it's all bad. I agree, Becca. It's all nonsense, and that's what they want because they want illegals to vote. They want anybody to vote because they will vote Democrat. And
Okay, right. But what the irony is, though, is that in order to get your driver's license, in order to buy a beer, in order to buy cigarettes, in order to buy a car, in order to buy a gun, you have to already show this documentation.
Yeah, and not for vote for the most important thing that could, your right to choose your government. it's less important than buying a freaking cigarette pack.
But the argument is no. It's too hard for people to get this documentation.
Well, if it's too hard, honey, you don't get to vote then. Maybe you shouldn't be voting.
I agree with you.
Okay, so and I also I think that getting an ID is, I think when I got my real ID, it did cost like, I don't know, 30, $50 or something. So it did cost some money to go get that. And so
I still don't have my real ID.
So I
You should
mean,
get one.
it does cost some amount of money, and so they might be looking at it from that perspective of, okay, well, some IDs do cost money, and so they might be looking at it from that perspective as well.
Yeah, but you know what they do in California too? They register homeless people to vote. They encourage. I read an article about it. How they were, and you don't have to have address. You can give your friend's address or list some PO box or something. These people who cannot get a hold of themselves, like who are drug addicts, who are just totally incapable, and they have the whole team of people who are working with them, trying to get them to register to vote. And guess who they vote for?
Well, it doesn't matter in California. The way that the redistricting has happened as of last year, the way that the counties have been redistricted and remapped, if you will, it doesn't matter now, because even the places that are very, very conservative, the way that the maps have been redrawn, it doesn't matter because their districts will vote Democrat because they don't count as that district anymore. It counts as a broader district. So if you're a conservative here in California, don't even try because you ain't going to win.
Well, and even the Supreme Court recently ruled this week that if you're going to mail in your ballot, which I think is a bad idea, but if you're going to do it, it has to be postmarked by voting day, but it doesn't have to be counted until 5 days later. So we're literally fighting Supreme Court powers here, guys. It really is a complex and difficult fight.
Yeah. Well, I think we should move to a more fun topic because we're close to the end of the show, and it's fired everybody up.
So, do you guys have any fun topics?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I have necessarily a fun topic, but being that we had a heady conversation just then, I figured my topic I wanted to kind of discuss what people had planned for or plans for the long 4th of July weekend. I know a lot of families do things together, and I didn't know if people on the panel had a lot to do.
Well, I know my family and I, we are going to celebrate America's 250th birthday in very, very traditional ways. Okay. We're going to eat hamburgers and hot dogs. We're going to
Whoa.
go watch fireworks. We might go swimming. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a very celebratory, happy day.
Awesome. Did you already buy a keg of beer?
Not yet. Not yet. That does need to be done now.
Did you buy
That
Miller?
does-
Are you going to buy Miller beer?
Miller Genuine Draft might be okay by me. That would be okay.
The producer doesn't like Miller Genuine Draft.
Well, you know what? The producer can bring it. We'll fill the whole cooler up. Okay, let's fill the whole cooler up. Let's fill the whole cooler up. And you know what? I'll drink whatever the producer doesn't drink, because once the cooler's filled up, then we don't want to leave. Let's not leave alcohol around on Independence Day.
I see. Well, it sounds like y'all will have a good time then. What about you, Anya, Rebecca?
Um,
Go ahead,
I
Ben.
don't. So Tim's lived in the area for a long time, and I don't remember what that address is or the intersection is. But he mentioned a place. He's like, "That's where we're gonna go and watch the fireworks, because you can see the whole valley from there." So that's where we're gonna go watch it. And we talked to my sister this morning to see if her and her girlfriend would want to come do it, but I'm not sure yet. So.
But do
What about-
any plans for the day, like during the day?
So
Are
we
y'all
don't
fixing to have a barbecue
camp-
or anything like that?
Well, okay. So we don't have a camper to go camping right now,
Mhm.
and we have a barbecue grill in the backyard, but we are not exactly planning a barbecue, mostly because we're still moving in, right?
Yeah, that makes
Now-
sense.
And yesterday we interviewed a housekeeper, and she's coming over tomorrow, right? And honestly, after she's gone, we might be able to plan a barbecue, because the house might finally be in somewhat order, right? Right now, we're still like right outside of my bedroom, my and Tim's bedroom door over here. There's like a tall stack of boxes. You know what I mean? And so it just throughout the house, there's just still some packing stuff, but it's a lot clearer than it was before. So I'm really excited for the housekeeper to come, because the house should be a lot better when she's done tomorrow.
What about you, Anya? You and your husband?
Well, we are probably going to go. Actually, it's on the 3rd at one church. We have friends at one church they go to, and then they invited us to the 4th of July party and fireworks in the evening. So we don't know a lot of people there, like lots of kids. They have slides for kids, and they have
Yeah.
a few food trucks that will be there. So we're gonna go closer to the evening, maybe like at 7 or something, so we can grab something to eat and then wait for the fireworks. But for the actual 4th, I don't really know. Probably we'll cook something at home, just take it easy, and I don't know. I don't have anything specific planned as for the actual 4th of July.
Well,
What about?
that does sound like a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll be on an airplane that day.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Where are you going, Cole?
I'm heading to Raleigh, North Carolina, and yes, that kind of music will be played. Yes, and we're fixing to get some barbecue. Oh, you can keep playing it. I mean, I was just
No.
gonna go along with it.
Are you going to meet up with a woman or something that you met online?
Yeah.
Now that's private, okay? I mean, because if I am, it might be my cousin, and it might be maybe a second cousin removed. Not really sure, but
I thought you said North Carolina, not Arkansas.
where's the music? Where's the music? Why did the music disappear? You know that song goes on for 4 minutes and 10 seconds. You didn't even want to know. But no.
I don't mind the music. I don't mind it.
No. I'm fixing to visit a friend of mine, but I'm planning on getting some barbecue when I get there, because I've heard a lot about Carolina barbecue and I got to try that. So that'll happen. And then,
I agree.
My friend does live a few hours away from Raleigh, so we'll have to boogie on out of there as quick as possible.
Go to the beach, man.
Well, we are going to the racetrack first. We got to go to the racetrack. There's a half-mile racetrack they have by his place, about 15, 20 minutes away from where he lives, and they're having a 4th of July race called, I think, the Firecracker Clash or something like that. So it's a half-mile asphalt racetrack, and so I do want to check that out. But yes, the beach is on the to-do list sometime over the time that I'm there. Uh, but no, Becca, sorry, not meeting a girl. I know everyone would be very excited or very curious.
You
to know that.
might.
Yeah, you never know. You might meet somebody while you're there.
Future's
Yeah.
unwritten, Paul.
Come again.
Future is unwritten.
I just had this conversation with someone a couple days ago. That is not going to happen. I'm going to go to the racetrack and we're going to go home. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
There's no
You know what?
racial bigotry here.
Now watch, he'll come
Of
back.
course there's
He'll
not.
come back with some story about how he met the woman of his dreams, and who knows, maybe they'll get married.
Oh yeah. And yeah. Okay.
You know?
Hey, I just think, whether you live in a small town or a big city, why not celebrate? Right? Look, we still got it better than anybody else on earth. Okay, I'm not saying we're perfect, but I'd still rather live here than anywhere else on earth.
I have seen
Yeah.
so many videos online of people who have visited the United States for the World Cup and them talking about how they love it here and how people are friendlier than the media says and how we have really great food. I've seen this video of this British guy trying chicken fried steak for the first time and he went,
Really?
that was amazing. I've never had anything like it. And there was a video a friend of mine told me about from people who had visited America for the World Cup, which is in is it in Atlanta? Because
United States is playing tonight.
but anyway, there was a video that gone viral because the people from the U.S. who was going back to their countries, the people from Europe or whatever, they was trying to put ranch in their carry-on bag, and then not realizing that that counts as a liquid, and you can't carry the ranch on your carry-on bag. We know you like the ranch, but you can't carry that. You gotta check it in, and I guess the TSA agents have experienced that quite a bit, to where the ranch seems to be the most popular thing taken home to other countries. I'm like, really? It's just ranch. Come on. I mean, it ain't bad, but I don't think of it as anything special.
I like
barbecue sauce, steak seasoning. Oh yes, hello America.
I was just
Man,
about to say,
barbecue sauce. I'm so picky about barbecue. I don't like sweet barbecue sauce, but it's really hard to find one to my liking. But I really, I'm willing to experiment with any of them. There's so many good options. Kansas City has pretty good barbecue.
Kansas City has amazing barbecue. I tell you what, if I go
Texas
back
does
there,
too.
I haven't had Texas barbecue, but I have had Kansas City, and it is dang tasty. But I'm fixing to have Carolina barbecue, so I'll give everyone a report whether I like that one better or if I like the Kansas City one. And I am going to Georgia as well. And a friend of mine that I'm meeting up with in Georgia, don't get excited, she's married.
Oh, shoot.
She said that she likes Georgia barbecue better than Carolina barbecue. So I'll get to experience both of them.
There is no racial bigotry here.
I can tell you guys, like, based on my experience, like, certain places are famous for certain things, but what it boils down to, in my opinion, is it all depends on the particular location where you go to. Like, like one of my simplest example would be Italy. When we went to Italy, and I ended up eating in one place, I ended up eating shittiest pizza ever. You go, Italy? What? Italy? Pizza? I had better pizza here in the States.
What was bad about it? Why do you call it the shittiest pizza?
Yeah, I'd like to know the answer to
And
that.
sauce, it was kind of weird sauce, kind of milky and tomatoey. I couldn't even understand what it was.
Oh.
No. But again, it's just one place. In other places, I had some calzones and other things that were amazing. So,
Ooh, a calzone. Ooh, that doesn't even sound bad. We're fixing to get
Yeah.
dinner sometime soon. I might have to do a calzone from somewhere.
there you go. Uber Eats your friend. Yeah. Well, I hope everybody gets to have an exciting celebration. Whether you have plans or not, I'm sure there'll be in every little city, every little town, there'll be something going on. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to look around in my area to see what's going on actual day on Saturday. Just maybe we can go somewhere in the morning. If it's not this boiling hot, and it's not like 94 degrees like we had today. Yeah.
And
So,
humid. I don't envy you.
yeah, I know it's bad.
That's what everyone's warned me when I go to the Southeast, that it's going to be those kinds of temperatures. And I said, I've been to Arkansas. I'm all right. I know what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Just remember, you guys, when you hear the sounds of the fireworks, the booms and the bangs, just remember the success that we had last year, the incredible strategic and tactical and military success with Midnight Hammer, Operation Midnight Hammer. You know there were some booms and bangs going on over there. That was incredible.
There we go. But do
Well-
you have any final thoughts or?
Do I have? Well, I'm really excited to celebrate this Independence Day, you guys. I mean, this is our 250th anniversary. That's pretty incredible that we're all alive to be part of it, don't you think?
Well, it is. And, it's crazy how America's 250 years old, and I'm 1 year older than that. I aged well.
1 year? What do you mean?
Because people always say that I have an old soul and I'm old. And so the joke, I guess, didn't go very well that I'm 251 years old.
Oh,
Oh,
no, you're not that old.
But hopefully everyone has a wonderful holiday and they're able to celebrate it. And I know I won't be here next week because I'll still be on my vacation paid. But hopefully all of y'all will be able to have a great show next week. And yes, I expect to hear lots of listener mail about how I was missed next week. I expect to get those emails, and I expect you, Becca, to read those emails, okay?
oh
And
yes.
I expect you to come back from your vacation with whoppers of stories. I think you just might.
Whoppers of stories.
Yes.
Did
Yes.
Burger King pay you to say it that way?
They did not. They
Okay.
did not. And we'd have to have a discussion about that because I think there's been some unfortunate changes over there. Yeah. Hey, Carl's Jr. Hello.
Okay, that's a topic for another day. Anyway,
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, Anya.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say next week sounds like we're gonna have the show on Friday the 10th instead of Wednesday. So
Oh yeah.
we hope to see you
For us,
guys.
guys.
All right, you guys. And yeah, and I'll look forward to hearing what was said at the banquet. So yeah, let me know, guys. And of course I'll bring my own flavor as well. So yeah, we'll talk to you all next week.
Okay, everybody have a great week and join us Friday of next week. Peace out, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.